Hi, Suru. Welcome to Decoding the Indian Startup Stories. Uh, Suru, you have a background in HR. That's what I understand. So, are you a people's person?
So thank you for having me on your show, Surendra. Tough question you asked. Am I a people's person? I do feel a lot for people, and but at the same time, on the job, HR heads have to wear the hat of people as well as the organization and balance it together to take it forward. So yeah, while I think a lot about people and they are at the center of my decisions, I at the same time um, have taken many hard calls many times over because that's something that has to be done for the organization.
That's fine, Suru. When I say people's person, the last, say, 10, 15, 20 years, you have been in the middle of the people, be it a hard call or a soft call,
Yes.
so being supportive. So, what is the take from that? How do you find, to get engaged with people?
Hmm. So I think one of the biggest things that gives me a kick is when I see people do well. And, somebody I may have worked with or have interacted with sometime in my life in the past, and today I find out that the person is, uh, you know, um um really flourishing in her career or doing something really good and has grown so much. And I feel really proud and happy to be part of that person's journey at some point in time. So my biggest kick in life is when I get to, and this is not necessarily only professional, even when people make breakthroughs in their personal lives, no, I get so delighted, that whether I have a role to play in it or not, gives me a solid kick, and I feel like that's one of the strongest emotion I will feel when somebody has a breakthrough, and I feel super happy and super aligned and super, ecstatic about the situation and the person. Drives the highest form of positive emotions in me. So I could respond to your question by saying yes. I think I could align with that.
Oh, that is so nice, to have such an. So you try to be, part of the person in toto. That's what you said, when somebody, really performs well, even in their personal life, you're so happy.
Yeah, yeah.
So that shows a good character of Suru. I would put it like that.
It's something I love. I think even in movies, by the way, I see a movie and there's a breakthrough, so I'm delighted. I'm part of that. So yeah, one of my positive drivers.
And being, in HR, we're heading the HR department, and I understand that your second job, it was a tough call between the founders and the employees and yourself. Am I right?
You're talking about United Lex.
Yeah.
So United Lex is a legal services company. I was hired after one of the founders was let go by the board, and the company was an Indian startup and had offices in the US at that point of time. And I think the need was to grow the organization and get it ready for scale. And at that point of time, the organization was the environment or the culture is what the founder creates, right? And it was a little hostile. The employees were timid, and attrition was high, and the energy was not there. And I think my task was the clear task was given to me to work on that and get the organization ready for scale, have the employees or the culture looked at. And some of the early things that we did was get an employee opinion survey through with an external party, and got very, very, very poor scores on everything. And naturally so, because there was a lot of baggage and the way the organization had run from that point of time. And to make that change and turn it around on its head over those 5-6 years was a difficult task, but it very, very interesting journey, because I think one of the things that we thought we should do is get to listen to people in such a way that they know that we are listening. So when we ran the survey, we didn't shy away from running town halls and showing the scores, or top two box score of 43 satisfied employees, no? 43%. And the employees were shocked because never in the past had so much transparency come in, and line by line of what feedback the employees gave was put up back to them that, okay, this is where we stand, this is the truth. And from here, we need to together build our journey of transformation and build an organization that we are proud of, and an organization that we contribute to together, because management and employees are not separate. They both have the same goal to be part of a great organization, build a great environment, and grow along with it. The organization grows, employees grow. So the interventions that were run over those years were focused keeping the employees in the center. So all decision making, all committees, all policies, any changes were run with many, many employee inputs taken. And it was over the years, the whole thing changed on its head, and employees started owning and running things on their own. And we would give them budgets and say, this is yours, run the festivals or run whatever policy committees and performance committees, many such things, that as we continue to keep testing ourselves and ran these surveys over the years to see our changes. By the time I left the organization, we were in India's top 50 great places to work, and attrition had come to sub 10% annualized. And today also, when I meet people from there, I mean, it's like home for me, and there are many people who are still working there, and we just look back at the time that we spent together and built something that was very meaningful to all of us. People grew a lot, have become heads of departments, have continue to deliver and work in an environment that they have enjoyed building together.
Great, excellent, Suru. Suru, coming to startups in India.
Yes.
Everybody talks of startups. Everybody talks of the failures of startups. Everybody says 90% of the startups fail because of X, Y, Z reasons. So many things. We are. It's a fact. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Now, looking at the role of an HR manager or an HR in startups, because a startup is a founder, a co-founder, and couple of people to begin with.
Yeah.
And when it comes to scaling, due to X, Y, Z reasons, there is a mental block or there's a block. So how do you address it? And in your personal experience, you have handled a lot of startups. Can you just share some light on it?
So, scale comes after you have some degree of product market fit and some paying customers. Before that, you are still trying to make sure that your product is out there and there are people willing to consume it. And until then, the founder is very, very focused on trying to make sure the product is perfect. Sometimes founders get so involved in the product itself that they even forget to look at the customer inputs and how customers are going to receive it, and therefore those are some of the reasons why those products don't hit the market. But once you do have, and PMF continues to evolve, right? So it is something, once you have some degree of PMF and you are now testing it out, with your early set of founders, customers, the problems that you were facing as a founder begin to change, because as scale begins to hit you, other kind of issues begin to crop up. So, for example, when as a founder, I may be working in a very small team earlier, but now if I have more and more customers coming in and I need to expand quickly, hiring the right kind of people is a challenge for me, and getting them assimilated in the business and making sure they're contributing to the customer's needs is one of the biggest challenges the founder faces, because the founder also has to grow herself as an individual in that process. You don't have the luxury of time to wait, like in corporate jobs, you do have time, and you don't have that at all. So getting that, the second big challenge in scaling is to be able to after you get all of these people on board, if you're able to do that, how to transfer and empower without feeling lost and, without feeling that I'm losing control. So even a lot of really big founders today who maybe running unicorns have trouble letting go, have trouble empowering people, want to be sitting on every decision, want to, and for no fault of theirs, it has taken them a long time to build an organization in their baby, that it's not easy, but it stands in the way of scaling. How much control you are able to let go and how you build your communication processes within the organization that will help people feel the same level of ownership that you feel for your company, and having the trust that they will deliver this the way that you have delivered so far. This personal letting go or the founder's own evolution is I think the biggest roadblock to scale. And if founders are able to overcome that, and I think it's a constant journey, because you also have to evolve. We all evolve, no, all our lives. So it's a constant journey to continue to be able to trust and build teams that can deliver outstanding results. That is one big area. And the second is, your the heart and soul of your company. So the practices and processes that you put together that are foundational, but will help take you a long way in any area, like the practices that you set in terms of people, the structures that you set, or how do you set your performance management in a way that is driving the organization forward. How much open and to and fro communication is there, because as important it is to communicate to your larger organization about things that you're doing, more important is actually listening. And there have to be very different ways and mechanisms in place to be able to listen to what your people are saying, your customers are saying. And so these are, or even creating capacity to build your organization further, to have the right people in the right boxes, thinking ahead, growing people quickly. So these are some areas that stand in your early journey of scale. And of course, as you grow, then other areas like having the money or funding and product or tech related issues will begin to come. So it starts to get complicated. And your ability to be able to find the right set of mentors, talking to, having help in the industry, having faith and building your own team and staying focused, because one other big thing is the really very, very, very lonely journey. What a founder goes through is he cannot, only another founder will understand that. So taking decisions, going through the highs and lows, having the resilience to be able to overcome the lows, understanding your own strengths so that you can use them while you're going through a low, having support, even personal lives and families get really compromised many times because of this. So it is very tough and gritty, and I think a lot of personal perseverance goes a long way in building for scale. Once the money comes in, then different problems start.
Problems.
Yeah.
So, what I can understand is you say that at the heart of the company, at the heart of the startup is the founder. Everything depends on the founder. Founder has to have the vision, mission, perseverance, people handling capacity, because he or she will not have a HR manager or HR department to begin with, because they are very lean. Yes. So in that circumstances, what do you suggest? Because I'm talking of a real time scenario wherein there is a startup, say 4 people, 5 people, 10 people, but all the problems will be more or less the same, what they are going to face. Every startup will have more or less the same problem. So in terms of people management, what would be your advice to these kind of startups who are like a lean structure?
I think who you get in early makes a big difference. So identifying the right skills, or is it knowledge, or is it skills or attitude? No, what do you want to get in first? When you're really small and you have to work with a lean team, you have to get the right people who carry this burning desire and ambition to do something big in life, no? Not a person who says, oh, is my role going to be strategic and what will I do and how much I will, how much bonus will I get in return? Because that is the profile that is very suited for a larger corporate kind of organization. So young people who dream big and have the attitude to be okay doing everything that comes your way, the openness to be able to work in different areas, as well as being okay with working in ambiguous situations, because every day things change. Every day you go after something else. So in my experience, and I have worked in startups even myself, as I have grown as a young, contributor, as I've grown over the years, that attitude makes a huge difference. So hiring the right people with the ability to wanting to believe in the bigger picture. The founder should spend a lot of time trying to have people understand why the company exists. What does it stand for? What are we trying to build? Why are we building it? And people who believe in that story in the early stages help you take the organization forward in a really big way. Later, of course, you have to, as you grow, bring in the right functional expertise, because you may yourself not be able to handle the complexities of a growing company. So who you hire and who you should definitely not hire should be the first thing a founder should learn in the early stage, because when you get a wrong hire, it sets you back for 6 months, especially in critical positions.
So from your experience, you have seen a lot of startups, and you were mentioning that the founders are very product centric. They just, tech centric. They're not mainly focused on customers or their feedback or even the organization. So what do you suggest for a change, in their behavior? For example, when you have a founder who is very product centric or tech centric, should he or she have a co-founder who can complement the roles like, HR or marketing or sales?
Normally, it's a really good idea to have a co-founder, at least one, if not, and three may be the most or best. Because, like we were talking, knowing your own strengths and being aware of what you are good at and your areas of opportunity will help you fix those by getting the right people in to plug the gaps. So a co-founder who has complementing skills and can take on areas that you are not, very focused on will help you grow faster and quickly and give you a more, balanced or holistic approach to things. Many times, even the investors are wary of investing in a single founder organization for the same reason. So ability to carry the organization forward in the long term will help if there are co-founders. Having said that, it's not easy to find a good co-founder or someone you trust. I think that's one of the biggest challenges that founders face today. They struggle to find, good complementing. And there is no easy answer for that. I don't have an answer. Many times founders ask us this question, how do I find a co-founder? It is, even if there are, now some websites that kind of offer these services, but it is probably one of the toughest ones. But if you're able to get that right, then it's a huge, thing out of the way for your growth and for success and scaling.
Taking on from the point that, currently there are some websites or agencies or places, wherein they say, okay, co-founders and mentors are, available, and we connect with co-founders, mentors and investors. Logically speaking, I think, do you think there could be a good business model in wherein mentors and co-founders can be, sharing a platform?
Mentors, yes, and there are many formal, informal ways of, finding people who are passionate about giving back and don't look at it as, commercial, even if commercials are involved, I think the bigger purpose is to be able to contribute to the ecosystem and to give back and spare some time and know other people, learn from other people. So that is still, possible, but there is quite a big gap, because a really good mentor really has to spend disproportionate time and effort in understanding what the startup is going through and to be able to help and stay engaged for a little bit of time to help solve or, untangle that issue. Just generic gyan and half an hour conversation may not help, no? So, but I am absolutely certain, because I believe in people's, achievements and their will to that. People are there. There are many out there that may be wanting to do that, but may not have an opportunity or know where to go to be that person. So that could really help, but I'm not very sure if we can find co-founders that way. While there are, again, places that try and get people to connect and meet and get to know each other. It's like getting married, no, Surendra? So you have to, one is the gut feel, whether he's right for me, and the other is, to really do all the necessary checks that you have to do. And it may still not work out at the end of the day, because when you're courting each other and when you're living in the same house, they're very, very different situations. So I'm not too sure about the co-founder piece.
Okay, great. So now tell me, how did you, about Artha, how did you land up in Artha? Because you're the co-founder of Artha.
That's right.
Yeah. So from corporate to...
So I had, over some time, I was beginning to feel, itchy about doing something different. I wasn't really having fun, having spent so many years of my life working in different startups, contributing to their growth. But it was more a repeat, old wine in new bottles, different ways of trying to drive the people strategy. Although I must say that today is a really good time to be a people person or a CHRO, because HR is a very, very challenged function right now, and has to really completely turn itself around to support the new organizations and the growth that startups are seeing. But I was feeling restless and I wanted to do something else. And I had how it started was that I got in the COVID first wave, a really bad one with COVID, and it left me very weak, and I struggled a lot physically for a few months. And at that time, I wanted to focus a little bit on my health, and my mom actually also had 2 major spine surgeries and was bedridden for 6 months. So it was a very difficult time, and I decided to take a break, and I quit Lenskart. That was my last corporate job. And in the 3-4 months that I spent time reflecting and emptying my cup, getting ready, and I wanted to empty my cup to get new things in, I was very clearly saying no to all the CHRO jobs that were coming my way, and said that this is something that I can easily do, but at this point of time, I want to be away from this. And all the other co-founders of Artha are people I have known for 20 years. So Sanjeev Agarwal had been toying with the idea of giving back to the community. It was something that was in his mind for a while. Hari, my co-founder, is someone who has been working closely with Sanjeev in the Fundamentum Partnership and earlier Helion. They had talked about it for a while. So this group that suddenly came together, Pawan was founder of Daksh, and I had worked in Daksh for a very, very long time, and we just got together, and sometime in June this company was formed, and that's around the time in June, July, that Hari spoke with me and asked me what I want to do next in life, and is this something that excites me? And without batting an eyelid, I said yes. Absolutely yes. So, advantage that we have is that, and Hari and I run the company operationally, while the other four are more on our board and are our co-founders, but not involved in day-to-day activities. There is immense amount of, trust and faith that we have in each other, known each other. And these started off at least with the basics in a relationship already working. There is immense trust, immense faith, immense respect. We know each other's strengths, opportunities. We know how we can, plug each other's gaps. And I think we were very lucky to come together. This is a team in the past that has also done really well when Daksh was created, and it was amazing experience. And we have an opportunity to do that one more time. And this time, of course, for no personal profit in this sense. This is, as you know, a not-for-profit. We are really wanting to create an institution that has the greatest impact on the startup ecosystem, and over time be known as the place to come to for entrepreneurship. So, never look back. I have, of course, always gone through many highs and lows. I think all founders go through that, because you're not ever ready to be that person, because it's outside your domain. It is not something that is just only, HR. It is all aspects of scale, and we are trying to solve the problem of scale, what we are looking at. It's not easy. It keeps me up at night, keeps me challenged. You just have to raise your hand and say, oh, I don't think I can do it. Can someone else do this? So conversations help us, feel comfortable, and we kind of, and it's a slow process. I think the first year is always the toughest in any founder's journey. I've heard it again and again and again. And we are in that right now. But so far, we seem to be doing okay. And we should find ourselves. We are in our own 0 to 1. We are trying to find our own PMF right now. We're trying to figure what will work and what will not work, and where should we go. So the same things that founders go through, we are going through. So we understand that, and hopefully, the puzzle will all fall into place over a period of time, and something will come out of this.
Yeah, I'm sure. And Artha and yourself and Hari, everybody is doing a good job. And let's hope, it will be a single stop point for entrepreneurship. Suru, it was a real pleasure talking to you. It was nice having you on my show, and all the best for your future, and all the best for Artha.
Thank you so much, Surinder, and I really enjoyed our interaction as well, and look forward to catching up with you again some other time.
Thank you, Suru.
Thank you.